Well, 20 years later, I still think that. What? Whenever I have $10,000 excluded on my budget.
All right, let's get this party started. Who can we pick on? Ted, you can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Who can we pick on now? Jim, Fabrini,
Yes, what are we doing?
the four-way pack.
Yeah, I first.
I will be kind in the way I tell it. I will be fair and not seek selfish advantage. I will have a warm heart and a warm mind.
Jack, can you lead us in the invocation?
The wake up hour is, dear God, we give thanks for this beautiful day and for the guests that are with us. We ask a blessing on the Rotarians here and around the world and the projects that they're involved with. Bless this food and this meeting to our use. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated.
I feel that It's really not a coach
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would fill it up.
We just encourage.
Yeah. I Vince, did you say me?
All right, let's introduce our guests. Hey, Pat, how about your table? Who's your guest?
I would like to introduce Gillette Johnson, with whom I have sat twice, and we're in conversation. He is.
Oh, there's a guest over there. Bob Fleischer, who's your guest?
James Green.
Alan, who's the guest at your table?
I am honored to introduce our speaker today, Ryan Gable, no relation, who is going to give an outstanding talk about what he does for the community.
What business and announcements? Any announcements today? Somebody, Bruce has got that announcement book.
Hello, everybody. If we're looking for something to do in March, when some of us are out of town and it's been a month since there are no February fellowship events, I thought I would set up our trip to the flower show downtown, the Chicago Botanic Garden specifically, to be the place to go on March 5th. The idea is get on a bus that is the party bus that many of you are familiar with. Go to the orchid show, which is going to be at the Chicago Botanic Garden. And after the end of it, go to the Greek Islands for a wonderful dinner. And then back here, go home and you're back to stupid reality and the fellowship will be over. And so we will have a sheet that I'll start circulating. Look for it with Pat's weekly announcements. Other than that, hope you all have a great weekend.
Well, I am back, and I want to thank Holly for saying that she missed me. So that's why I came back. That's not why I came back. But I was one of the reasons. I'm trying to make it on a regular basis now. We had a really rough wedding. I'm a florist, and we had a really rough wedding here last year. So hopefully that's going to ease up a little bit this year, and I'll be able to see you guys more often. But I am here because it's March Madness time, and I need entries for the March Madness. So for those of you who don't know, Alan's in. For those of you who don't know, this is a beat the spread pool, which is really easy. You get assigned a team, and if that team beats the spread, then you move on in March Madness. Each entry costs $100. If you're in, just let me know. I will send you an email. You'll get that today, and you can just respond to that, and I'll get you. The club does bill you, but if you give me $100, I will also enter that in. All right. So you let me know. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I haven't seen you in a few weeks. Good to be back. I just wanted to once again remind the classic May 6th silent auction items. Thank you for everybody who has been working toward chasing silent auction items. I've been getting emails and information. Anybody in the house today that has been able to chase down or has access to a new silent auction item? Is anybody working on one right now? Yeah, Jean, what is it? It's secret. Oh boy.
Silent.
It's a silent auction item, but I like it. Anyone else? Anyone else in pursuit? Yes.
Mirror for a day for Bopper's Estates. It's always a popular one.
Yes, Mirror for a day.
Tickets at the Now Arena for the Windy City Bulls.
Ooh,
But they won't release those tickets to me until after their season this year is completed. So they'll be ready for you for the classic, but they'll be for next year.
awesome. Okay, tickets for the Windy City Bulls coming up here. We're waiting for them to come out. Awesome, nice score. Yes.
We have a $3,000 value of your family portrait on canvas.
Wow.
If you win.
A family portrait on canvas, $3,000 value. Yeah, baby. Nice. Mr. Allen Gabe.
Autographed baseball for Hall of Fame pitchers. The autographed balls of pitchers who are in the Hall of Fame.
Autographed baseballs of pitchers that were in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, nice. Okay, well, thanks, everybody. I love to hear it. I'll check back in. Oh, Barry, I saw you. Did you have your hand up?
Yes, we'll have a magnum from Domaine Carneros out of Napa. They donated, started last year, so we'll continue to do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, they were generous last year. Thanks for that. Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for your work on this. We'll continue to see that through. Don't forget to fill out the forms. It's new this year, and send a picture of the items. And then Bob is holding the items at his place until the day of the event. So thanks again. Have a good lunch.
Good morning, everybody. PCs for People is February 18th. We have a lot of people bringing in PCs, so please feel free to bring out your PCs and equipment over to Bar Down Public Creek Bowl. Also, we still need wine.
Is that like recycle or what?
Recycle, yeah, recycle, and they certify cleaning.
What are they going to do with the PCs once they get them?
If they can be refurbished, they are donating them back to families in need, and we're gonna be putting together, Linda Dresser and I will be putting together an event for the local schools to be able to register and come pick up a PC if they would like one. There'll be laptops and PCs. Also wine, we need more wine, so continue to bring in your wine bottles or alcohol bottles for the classic. And then one silent auction item I'm working on is a drag costume from Hairspray when Alan Gable was in that musical. So I'm working on that. I'll let you know.
Reminder, I did send out an email, you can now access Better Unite for selling tickets online. And you can do that directly with them, or you can go to our website, and it'll link you to Better Unite. And so we've already sold some tickets online, so things are going well, so keep up the good work. Thank you.
Yes, the link is on the website and it works. I tried it even before I knew it was live. All right, who's happy? Any happy dollars? Jim.
Yes, I am happy. I'm $5 happy. Thank you. That's okay. I will.
Yeah, mine.
Number one, it's good to be back at the Rotary Club. Thank you so much for having me again. And number two is, it's Valentine's Day week and I'm a fourth, so that's always good for me. And then number three, I entered a pool, a football pool. And my third, I got the spread back. It's one of those spread pools, not the spread pool, but it says, numbers pool. And my numbers are 0 and 7. That's not bad.
Jim, can you collect?
I think I lost the mic. Holly,
I'm $5 happy because I'm gonna be on another continent tonight. I'm going to Africa today.
hey,
This is my airplane.
right.
I am.
Oh, it's the Rotary trip, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm $10 happy today. I guess if someone has changed, I don't know, I might be $20 happy. But I was had the opportunity to help Sarah Rodriguez with the classic from sort of a planning standpoint. And I've always been interested in event planning. I think this is a great start, and I'm happy to work the classic.
Oh, I guess I can get any, but am I allowed to if I'm not a member?
Absolutely, we'll take your money.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm happy about. I'm happy that Rotary is a sponsor and works well with Shelter Box, because my current club and I have got together. We set a number of, I'll explain Shelter Box if you guys aren't familiar with it, but basically it gives people shelter that have absolutely no shelter in the world. And right now they need a ton of it in Turkey. People that are freezing to death, no place to go. So we've managed to send several of these shelter boxes.
Those are the
so
bright
far.
yellow ones that they.
It's the big boxes, and it's got solar, lighting. It's got pots, pans, blankets, sweaters, everything that you might need, all in one big box, and it can take care of a family of 4 for quite some time. So they're $1,000 a pop, but they're worth it. It changes people's lives. So that's what I'm happy that we had something like that.
Bill Kelly.
That's the
All right,
expensive.
$550. I had the pleasure of visiting DC with my wife, my oldest child. I love her. Her 91. Flying up to DC with a couple of nephews. Got back Wednesday, and Jay and I are heading out to Palm Springs on Tuesday.
Alan. $5 I had the pleasure of having a Zoom meeting with Rebecca Dar and her people with Wings the other day. And I want to thank Gail and Tom, who have stepped up to be the liaison with Wings. And they're going to be handling all the media events. And they're doing a great job. And I really appreciate all their efforts. And I want to thank Wendy for doing the silent auction and Bob for not having a big enough car to take some of the silent auction things, so Wendy had to shove them over to the house for agreeing to hold all this stuff. Thank you.
Have a happy dollar because tomorrow I leave for St. Mark.
I have $5 my granddaughter Gracie got accepted to the University of Illinois School of Architecture.
Oh, nice.
For those of you, sounds like some of you do know, but that's not an easy thing to get.
No.
She's very accepted.
So I got $5 happy. So you guys know that I'm a home remodeler, and I'm not often out in Chicago on a Friday morning, but I was out in Chicago this morning and then got the hour to start demolition on the biggest project my company has ever taken on. It's about $1 million remodel, and it's, we took the garage down today. So yeah, it started.
Anybody else happy? Anybody else happy? Gene.
So I have $2 happy. Of course, for my daughter, she's got an audition today in a couple hours at the Metropolis. And she's performing tonight in a musical at the Prairie Arts Center. And they have $2 happy for Mr. Greeny. It's good to see you here, and for a little plug for him, every Valentine's Day I do some crazy, wacky thing for my wife, floral arrangement, completely way outside the box for Halloweenish. Always do a fantastic job accommodating anything that I want aside from the place possibly being wanted. And then, as you all know, I do love to learn new things about members. And I do spend a lot of time with some of the members, and I learned something new. You know how we all have, well, you might not know, but look it up. Google it. We call it a free pass. Free pass. I learned a certain member apparently has Aretha Franklin on that. Free pass.
Anybody else, Kathy? All right, let's do the Queen of Hearts. I will shuffle. And that didn't look like a good shuffle. I'll shuffle again. All right, who feels lucky?
Yeah, we're gonna win that first shuffle.
Hey, and I'm sure Linda wins.
You and these numbers, or should I go for the lowest? All right, number 6. Now, 2 of hearts. You got a heart though.
All right, enjoy your lunch.
Too bad, so sad.
He found it.
What time of day?
Oh, you got one. I'll put it in the thing.
Reason for it, just keep your eyes open.
You got any?
Yeah, no, so the sport of
Our pledge is so, yeah.
And Northern Pike and Muskie, that. So, like.
Yeah. George, you wanted to get on the
I know. Well, those are serious.
I don't know. Not found the meat then. Driver did.
It's okay.
Yikes.
Yeah, we'll set up over there. Use the lab.
So I bought this.
So what's the $100?
Yeah. It's $10.
Really, really good chance.
You make your own decisions.
Get there.
I'm not doing this. This place right by that. See, what we needed somebody.
So while it did, it took up like a big volume. But no, I.
I think there was once.
Yeah, don't put it.
I can't read it.
I don't know if it's. No, the best deal. Very, I don't know if you have numbers. Right now, it's Friday for lunch. They are much bigger, right.
So say this is 20.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Get to watch the on my run up and down the side of the mountain. Okay. Well, then, if it's a boat, if it's the one I was on. Okay, yeah. Wow, okay. And I can tell you that Tom and I are hammer shot. I didn't know what. Yeah.
Gotten around to certain places. You'd say it's my own place there. All right, here's Perry's, Alabama, Colorado, Florida, 3 in Illinois, 1 in North Carolina, 10, 7 in Delaware, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 in Texas. Virginia, special rate for so we.
Yeah, I'm just. Yeah.
You know what? It's just as good.
I might have. I go buy it all the time.
I'll find out.
Next Wednesday. And it's like Thursday.
So you're the first. It's like, if that's not big, it's
See, I don't know what I'm talking.
I don't know, is there any more?
All right, I want to welcome our illustrious fine master. And he will part you with some of your money, Mr. Alan Gable.
Okay, everybody. I know I can't do as good a job as our fine master last week. Pat did a great job. Thank you, Pat. So I'm gonna have a surprise for everybody today. We had one last week, having Pat do it. So the surprise today is I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna need a couple people to collect fines. A couple people, Mr. Sanasardo, Mr. Erickson, Mr. Ghosh. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay. If you haven't sold or turned in a classic ticket yet, that'll be $2. We have how many tickets, Gail, sold? 19 tickets have been sold so far. That's a little under our goal, folks. So, Bruce.
Yes.
You know, I love the thing that you're doing on March 5th, but I'm gonna be out of town. I can't go, so it's $2. Jim, Brainy.
Yes.
I don't know what the reflection with that new haircut you had is blinding me. But, you know, everybody here knows you're a florist. So when you stood up and go, oh, I'm a florist. You said it twice. That's advertising. So that's $2 each time. So that's $4.
Excuse me, that's not advertising. 847-885-2000.
And that's another $5. If you're wearing any, another $5 for the phone number. 885-2000.
Yes.
If you,
What, yeah, here. $2. I already got it out here. Yeah, it's tossing over you.
you're a quick learner. If you're sitting at the bad boys table and you don't have a bad boys pin label on the back of your badge, like I do, then it'll be $2. And all of you should pay.
How did one get that?
You have to be a bad boy. If you were late, that'll be $2. If you were on jury duty this week and you complained about it, that'll be $2. Doing your civic duty, you shouldn't complain about it. If you don't have your pin, that'll be $2. You don't have your badge, that'll be $2. If you have any clothes that you are wearing that is not Rotary related, that'll be $2. If you're wearing clothes that advertise your business, that'll be $2. Usually it's $5, but I feel benevolent today. Wes, you also were advertising today, so that'll be $2 about your company having demolition and blah, 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 blah. I've done this every week. There's a coat rack here, ladies and gentlemen. If you didn't hang your coat up in the coat rack, that's $3. Okay? So, you know, I found something out today that somebody told me that there's a football game going to be played Sunday. And somebody else told me that it's called the Super Bowl. So some people thought that meant it was a really big bowl of cereal, but it really isn't. It's a football game. So we're going to have some questions, the trivia questions, Holly. Is that okay? Is that okay that we do this? Or am I interrupting an important conversation you're having with Bruce?
No, we're discussing the carrots and the density.
Okay, fine. So let's talk about the $2 each year you were going to dance into the Thunder Frolic pot. Okay, so we all know it's a Super Bowl, right?
Right.
What year was it first called the Super Bowl? You have four choices. Was it 1967? That's $20 if you answer beforehand, Tom. $20. Was it 1968? Was it 1969? Or was it 1970? How many people think that the first time they called the game the Super Bowl was 1967? Raise your hand. Okay. How many people think it was 1968? Raise your hand. How many people think it was 1969? Raise your hand. How many people think it was 1970? Raise your hand. It was 1969, ladies and gentlemen. So if you got it wrong, that'll be $2 each. So now they have this thing about Roman numerals and no one understands what they mean. What was the first year they used the Roman numerals to designate the Super Bowl? Was it Super Bowl III? Was it Super Bowl IV? Was it Super Bowl V? Or was it Super Bowl VI? How many people think it was III? How many people think it was IV? How many people think it was V? How many people think it was VI? It was V. Everybody else paid $2. Okay. So, you know, for some of you who don't know this, but years and years and years ago, women were not allowed in Rotary in our clubs. But we now have women in Rotary, which I think is a wonderful idea. Has there ever been a female referee? Has there ever been a female who officiated in the Super Bowl? How many people think there has been? Raise your hand. Everybody else, that's $2. Okay, so now we all know that there has been a woman who has officiated the Super Bowl. What year was it? Was it 2020? Was it 2021? Or was it 2022? How many people think the first woman who officiated a Super Bowl did so in 2020? Raise your hand. How many people think it was in 2021? How many people think it was in 2022? Ladies and gentlemen, it was 2021. How many teams have never played in the Super Bowl? Was it 3, 4, 5, or 6? How many think?
Lions were one of them.
Okay, so we know that. So is it 3, 4, 5, or 6? How many people think it's been 3 teams that have never played in the Super Bowl?
Lions have never been in the Super Bowl, George?
No. They've won one playoff game in 53 years. How many people think that it was 4 teams never been in the Super Bowl? They're the only ones right. Everybody else paid $2. Now, in addition to Detroit Lions, does anybody know which were the other 3 teams who have never been in the Super Bowl? Who said that? Okay, what else? You have to answer them all now, Steve, since you opened your mouth.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's $2. Whoever said that over here. And okay. Okay, I'm going to give Steve a pass. At least he had the courage and the cojones to come up and try to answer. It was Houston Texans. Now, the interesting thing is the only team that's never been in the Super Bowl, that's the only franchise that's ever been in that city, is the Detroit Lions. Because the Cleveland Browns moved, Houston Texans had another team, and Jacksonville was the team that moved to Jacksonville. Okay, last question. What college has produced the most Super Bowl quarterbacks? Has it been Notre Dame? Has it been Cal? Has it been Alabama? Or has it been Purdue?
Michigan State. I was just gonna say, you didn't even give Michigan State.
Oh,
That's-
you're gonna get that again.
That's $5.
No, they would have to fight.
Okay, so how many people think Notre Dame has produced the most Super Bowl quarterbacks? Raise your hand. How many people think it's Cal has produced the most Super Bowl quarterbacks? Bonnie, do you know what Cal is, by the way? Okay. How many people think it was Alabama? And how many people think it was Purdue? Believe it or not, it was Cal. They've had 5 quarterbacks who attended Cal Super Bowl. Notre Dame's had 3, Purdue's had 3, and Alabama's had 3. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I made you part with a lot of your money, and it's good for the kids.
Well done. Well, that's it. I was born in the morning. Oh, okay. My aunt still lives in Sarasota. And then, yeah, and then I was born in San used to. My aunt, so it's like 30 minutes from there. My grandma's still living down.
Who out of that group was any good? Joe Cat.
Aaron Rodgers. He's out in dark blue right now. I watched it. There's only one quarterback. So does he count 7 times? Alabama and Arkansas. And this year was
Hey, everybody. My name is Ryan Gable. I'm with an organization called Bikes and Music. We talk a little bit about what it is that we do. I'm going to try to enunciate, speak as loudly as I can. If nobody can hear, please raise your hand.
There you go. Now you're good.
How's this? We'll see how long it goes. Thank you for your hospitality. You guys are great. Thank you for lunch. Thank you for the opportunity just to talk a little bit about what it is we do. I'm going to talk for about 15 minutes and then I'm going to open it up for 5 minutes. Anybody has any questions? There are brochures, kind of an annual report that we did for last year. So it's on your tables there. So we're located in, who are we? What do we do? So we're located in Schaumburg, and what we do, we started in January 2021. What we do is we bring in bikes and instruments, and they're donated to us. And we bring them in, we fix them up, and then we give them to families, individuals in need. Okay. So, and then we also do the same thing with instruments as well. Okay. So how this kind of came about was through, well, real quick, just finish off about exactly what it is, who we donate to for the instruments. We donate to teachers. So we thought we were going to be able to go to individuals. And then when we kind of found out, which I'll get into, about the shortage of instruments in the CPS because of COVID, it's been a lot of donating directly to teachers wanting to start band programs. Stage 2 of the company is to get into experiences. We haven't done that yet. I call them trails and trips. So Paul Douglas and Hoffman Estates, does everybody know that there are mountain bike trails in that forest preserve? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, well now everybody does. So I helped cut 17 miles of it with Camber, Chicago Association of Mountain Biking. I was there about once a month. They were there every day, Saturday, Sunday, on weekends for 52 weeks to build 17 miles of trails. Half of that trail system is very easy. The other half of it is not easy. Okay, so the easy part though, what we want to do is start bringing kids in from the city, from inner city, to show them there's mountain biking around Chicago, get them off the streets, give them some mentorship. Okay, and then for the trips experiences, my kids go to Friend High School. My son's in choir. He's going to go to Disney World in November. So do we think that all kids in the Chicagoland area have that opportunity? The answer is no, they don't. So part of our fundraising is we want to get more involved with teachers that are looking to do these sort of things, whether it be go to New Orleans or go to an orchestra concert at Vinia. We want to be able to provide for that. Okay, so why are we doing this? So I'm a bicyclist. I bike. I was just getting really kind of tired of biking around neighborhoods and seeing people throw away their bikes. I have friends that will call and ask me, hey, I know you're into bikes. Junior doesn't need his bike anymore. What do we do with it? And a lot of times it just gets thrown away. And we said, let's take these in, let's get them fixed up, and let's give them to people that need them. Okay. So we started with that, and then with that thought, and then my wife was hearing people in the neighborhood, parents saying, hey, Sally was doing flute. She doesn't do it anymore, and the flute's just sitting underneath the bed. It's not doing any. What do I do with it? So we said, well, why don't we start an organization that takes these in, takes these bikes, these instruments, and then we'll fix them up, and then we'll put them to good use. The good use thing was not. We didn't really know how this was going to work out. We didn't know who it was going to go to, how it was going to be. We kind of thought it was going to be going directly to, like I said, families, kids, but then we quickly realized to go directly to other nonprofits. And so we started this in January 2021. And from there, the first thing we did was we started with a bike swap. I have friends up in Minnesota in the bike community, and the level of the community up there is kind of a next level from where we're at in Chicago. And so they gave me a lot of great ideas, and they said, well, do a bike swap. Nobody knows who you guys are, what you do. And what you do then is you're going to have sellers that need to sell their bike, buyers that are looking for used bikes, and they charge $15. So we got with Rolling Meadows Park District, and we did this bike swap, and we were able to kind of facilitate, 75 bikes to be sold, but we also made $3,500 on our first fundraiser. We had press come out, the whole thing. We were only doing this 4 months in at that point. Then we started to reach out to teachers. We started to send an email saying, again, without knowing what we're doing or how we're doing it, we started to send an email to CPS teachers saying, hey, this is what we do. This is our organization. Do you need instruments? And we got flooded. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we got flooded immediately with all like 5-6 emails. All 5 of them, I think actually 4 or 5 called us the next day and said, yes, we need instruments. And this is why, because CPS is not allowing kids to share instruments anymore because of COVID. So you have, thousands of kids that were able to share one, so you had double the amount of people that could be in band. Now you don't. So the teachers would then go to CPS and say, well, hey, give us the instruments. And CPS would, shrug their shoulders, say, we don't have any money for that, but you still have to use your own. The kid can only have one. So we ended up partnering the first time with Thomas Kelly High School, who is, I think, the 3rd largest high school in the CPS. They have 300 kids in their band program. And I said, I can't get you 300 instruments. Give me another goal. And he goes, give me 35. You give me 35 instruments, I could do that with the beginning band program. He goes, when the beginning kids come to me and they want to learn band, and if I don't have instruments for them as freshmen, they'll never come back. So we said, we'll do it. So we started doing instrument drive. Have we ever done an instrument drive? No, we've never done an instrument drive. But we started using social media. We started going to the press. We end up getting 35 instruments. And the picture there with me and 2 guys around me, that's my wife there, where the instruments are. They came and picked them up, and it was an hour. They were just kind of going through the instruments and playing. And I said to them, listen, I don't know. They were so thankful. They were so happy. And I said, listen, I know bikes, but I don't know instruments. Are these any good? And the young gentleman, he's the assistant band director. It's Thomas Kelly. And he's a good kid. And he said, listen, if you take these 35 instruments down to Schaumburg High School, 3 of them maybe will be used. He goes, all 35 of these instruments will be in use by my school on Monday. It was a Thursday. And that's when it hit me like a lightning bolt of equity, of, you know, balancing the scales. Why is it my kids get everything that they more than what they want, everything, but the kids that need it the most, they don't get anything. So it was kind of a travel. We added it to our mission to help balance that scale as best as we possibly can. So that's the why. So to go back, just to show you real quick. So that was 2021. We had 33 bikes donated, 46 total instruments donated that we were able to fix up and give. Last year, in 2022, we had 227 bikes and 133 donated. We kind of thought we were going to do 200 pieces total, bikes and instruments. And we basically doubled that. So I know we're based here in Schaumburg, Hoffman Estates. Crank Revolution and Hoffman Estates, the bike shop over there, has been so awesome to deal with. In Streamwood, Never Ending Bikes, they have a big donation program, and they were looking for someone to join in, and we just hit them at the right time. So in 2022, after getting the name out there for a little bit, people started donating their bikes. Well, where do you think we were storing the bikes? 745 South White Willow Bay in Palatine, which is my house and my garage. I literally at one point had 35 bikes in my garage, and I had a wife that I thought was going to divorce me on how we were going to figure all this out. And that's where just up people from other organizations, it's really a cool, beautiful thing when you start doing things like this and you start to see other people join in and want to be a part of it. And so Never Ending Bike said, hey, we have an open space. I'll get with the landlord, see if we can use that as storage. We did. And we were able to utilize, now we have right now next to Never Ending Bikes in Streamwood, 120 bikes sitting there right now. Nobody wants bikes in February, we've learned. But starting next month, that's going to be a different story. We're going to be able to, and then people are going through their garage and we're going to get a lot of phone calls. So we think we're going to get up to 500 bikes this year alone, and we're shooting for 200 instruments. So that's what's been going on. That was what was happening with bikes. As far as, you know, who we, let me get to slide real quick of who we give. Our recipients, Refugee One is a big one in the city. They bring in refugees through Afghanistan, Ukraine, coming into the United States. This is really for people, they give them jobs, they give them housing and they give them jobs, and they're using our bikes to go to work. So they don't give them, you don't get a car, obviously through a nonprofit in the city, but they get our bikes. That's when we started giving locks, because the first donation we gave, we got a phone call saying half of them have been stolen. And that's when we said, we have to give a bike. We're averaging about $50 a bike to have it fixed, and then $10 on top of that for locks and a bicycle helmet. You do not donate a bike unless there's a helmet or a lock attached to it. Thomas Kelly High School, Home of the Sparrow. I'm sure some of you have heard of Home of the Sparrow. Beasley, back of the yard school, and then Lincoln Park, that's more for on the instrument side. So what had also happened at about the same time last year, in April, May, as we were rolling with the bikes, Palatine Music Store, downtown Palatine, called me and said, we have 75 instruments that we were renting out. We don't feel right renting out. They're good, but they're just not rentable, we think. Do you want them? And I said, I'll be over there tomorrow at 10 o'clock with a couple cars and we'll pick them up. And then 3 days later, we donated them to a couple different teachers. And these, because again, we sent out emails and we had these young teachers literally crying and saying that we thought that this was not right. This was a BS phone call. There's no way that you have these instruments. And we said, we do. Do you need us to fix them? And they said, no, we know how to fix them. Just it was almost like a garage sale where you see something, you're like, I kind of like it. And someone's going to say, it was like, we want to grab these as quickly as it possibly can. That's how much in need these instruments are. And they were able to start band programs that they haven't been able to do. So, you know, they would stop and they would talk to us for an hour, hour and a half, each one about what they were going to do with it. They've invited us to performances. It's been really, really cool. So our goals for next year, this is one woman in Elgin, actually, the music department after COVID was just completely dropped, completely stopped. Can you imagine that? So you're a kid and you're not teaching music. So this is a teacher who just said on her own, I'll teach music after school. And the best thing I'm going to do is if you give me 8 keyboards, I'll start teaching music that way. So within a week, we were able to get her 8 keyboards. So there's a lot of this need out there. Okay. So again, our goals for next year, 500 bikes, 200 instruments. Couple more pictures of, this was the Elgin School Academy and then Lincoln Park High School. They needed a lot of instruments. This is our board of directors. We just met the other day and just kind of making goals of what we're going to do. What do we need? What's our big thing? So we're at a point where we need, with $50 worth of bike, $50 per bike, $60 really per bike. We're looking at about a budget of about $35,000. We have a donor that's been starting to give us $10,000 this year and last year, which has been huge. But we need corporate sponsorship. So we're working on that. We're working on grants. Kind of don't know what we're doing with that, but we figured it out to this point. So we're just going to keep trucking along and just seeing what we can do. Again, we've been connected with a lot of people in the music in the music world as well as the bike industry. So that's been really cool. We do have daytime jobs. So, to do this on the side, I'm in real estate. Part of it was I was given a humanitarian award in 2020 for the things that we do for the community. And I just didn't think I was worthy to get it. And was half the reason why I started this nonprofit. Because when I was given this award by North Shore Barrington, the Realtor Association, I felt like I needed to live up to it and I had to work on it. So that was half the reason why we started this. So yes, so we need, donations, sometimes volunteer support. I talked to Ride Illinois. They want to do, I think last year they did a ride to the Boomer Stadium. It wasn't that many riders, but they think they're going to get about 150 and they want to have a big donation event there at the stadium. So that's July 23rd. There's a lot of dates and a lot of things that are being thrown out that we're so super excited about. And it's been just really, really cool. But we're talking about getting a van. And so we have all these bikes, but then it's getting it to the nonprofits. So that's a little bit of a challenge. So we rent U-Haul trucks or U-Haul trailers. So hopefully in a couple of years, we'll be more streamlined and more efficient with how we're going to handle that. But as we're just finding out, it's just getting the fundraising part and getting into corporates. So that is basically who Bikes and Music is. And this is what we do. And I can tell you, it's a lot of fun. It's really super cool when your kids see what you're doing and they see you got the purpose. So, and it's really cool when they're helping out and their friends are helping out from the high school as well. So if I could do it full time and get paid what I get paid for real estate, I would do it in a heartbeat. But, maybe someday we'll see. So that's what I got. Does anybody have questions? Yes.
If we have something we want to donate, how do we get it to you?
Just contact me.
Okay.
Just call me. Everybody's got my card. My cell phone's on it, email. We do take pickups. So there is another organization called Working Bikes on the South Side that does the same thing with bikes. But they're awesome. They have so many bikes that they ship them to other countries in containers. That's how many bikes they get down there. But they have to pick up at least 5 bikes. We'll pick up 1 bike. So obviously we're smaller and we're just trying to hustle around. So
Your logo is excellent.
thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Put it to a vote of all our friends.
You take violins too.
Yeah, someone's dropping off violins today to our offices. I think 4 of them.
Are there more, what's the most demand as far as instruments and what size bikes are the most demand?
Good question. Saxophones are big, like horns are big. Drums and pianos, not so much. So a lot of times we get calls with pianos. And I tell people I want to get into that. I just don't have the storage for it. But yeah, like horn instruments are big. Guitars, not so much. But like flutes, violins, yes, those are huge. And then bikes, we just get with Refugee One, which was great because we were getting a lot of teenagers and adult bikes. And now we've been able to facilitate those bikes going to that organization. So, but we get them from 5-year-olds. I mean, the cool thing is when I pick up a bike and you literally will have a 5-year-old little girl holding onto that bike, and I know what to do now. And the first time I didn't know it, but I lean over and I'm like, and she doesn't want to give it to me. And I'm like, did you learn how to ride your bike on? Is this the first bike without training wheels? And she goes, yes. And I said, this is going to go to another little girl who's going to learn how to ride a bike on this bike. Isn't this cool? And you see the light burn up, and it's so super cool. It's so awesome. So yeah, you take any bike, it's good. Tandem bike, someone donated a tandem bike. Yeah. So actually we sell those are good. So we get some money for those.
So do you, in terms of volunteer support, you had mentioned kids, we have teenagers that want to get involved, or we have Rotarians that want to get involved, or are there ways that we could?
Yes, just reach out. So we're a 501c3. So that was the first thing we applied for. And I thought it was going to take forever, but it only took like 2 months. So a lot of the high schools, I think that's part of our requirement, that they give us a call. So when we do these events, these bike events, like a lot of times it's pumping up air, lubing chains, things like that. So we definitely have a lot of, need for that. And so they can contact me or parents.
Right, I'm assuming you're still married. Where are you storing the bikes now?
What's that?
I said, I'm assuming you're still married. Where do you store the bikes now?
So over at Never Ending Bikes, right next door, they have an office suite that the landlord hasn't rented out, and he's letting us have it for free.
How
So
many bikes can you put in?
right now we have 120. So if we rack it up, we could have more. But so far this year, we're like, well, we're this close to start moving them out. So let's just keep it the way it is. But if this keeps going, we'll get out of that space. I'll have to get some sort of warehousing space.
And then who fixes them up and before you give them away?
Never Ending Bikes and Crank Revolution. So we I'd say Never Ending Bikes does about 75%, and then Crank Revolution does about 25%.
Do you pay them to do that, or?
Yeah. Yeah, and it costs about $50 a bike. That's the average. Sometimes like a small kid bike, like the 5-year-old bike, nothing. But sometimes we'll get a old road bike that needs tires, and so it's like 60, 70 bucks. But on average, it's about $50 what we figure.
So Ryan, if someone or if an organization want to sponsor like 20 bikes, $1,200 would be like $60 a bike, would that be roughly?
Yeah, that would be great. St. James, if I didn't say it, St. James and Arlington Heights called us and said they wanted to do a drive for the whole week. So they gave us, all the kids were bringing in, it was 35 bikes. I think it was like 12 instruments, and they raised $1,000 in 1 week for us. I had to speak at a pep rally. That's one thing I didn't quite get an email about. I didn't think I was going to get that email the rest of my life, that I was going to speak at a pep rally for 1st grade through 8th grade. But to say thank you, and they were all really excited about it. It was really cool. So, but yes, that's perfect. That's my church. Any other questions? Well, thank you for this opportunity. Thanks for your hospitality.
The good people at Gigi's Playhouse made these mugs for us. It has the 4-way test in it, which you're going to hear in a minute.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, all rise. You guys all patient. All right, next week, we get to hear tales from our own Ernie Turnovitz. It's a meeting you must not miss. And Ernie, why don't you lead us in the 4-way test?
4-way test. First,
is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill in our friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks for using the microphone too.
So I'm gonna, what's the number like?
Well, it's rusty.
We're looking forward to trying to keep up with. Yes, come on.
She's gonna be very wait for us.
There we go.
And then she'll go out.
That's actually.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, see you later.
Babe, you want the, yeah,
$35.
yes.
Life would have